Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be selecting items for my daily wear makeup. I'm going to call it a bin because it's definitely not a basket. I will show you in due course. So I just want to go through my collection, select some items. I'm not looking to finish these items up. This year the focus really is on getting as much use out of as much of my collection as I can. I don't really want to put too much structure around that, like a project 10 uses or anything of that sort. I want the freedom to be able to pick and choose and not feel constrained to some sort of arbitrary set of rules. But I feel like doing these bi-weekly baskets is going to allow me to achieve that goal of just rotating through and using items. So let's dig in. These lip balms here, I don't necessarily carry these in my purse, but as the one in my purse and on my bedside empties, I go in here to replenish. But I do usually apply lip balm before I start applying my makeup, just so that by the time I get to lipstick, my lips are nicely hydrated. The one I've been working on is this one from Bobbi Brown, and there is very, very little left. So I am going to continue to use that because it will be done very quickly. And then as a backup, I'm going to bring out this one here from Bite Beauty, if only because it is quite old at this point and I want to get some use out of it. For primers, if you watched my video where I went through and told you the total tally of my makeup collection, I think I said I had 3, and that's because A, this one was hiding, and B, I had already considered this one to be done, even though there's probably about 2 or 3 applications in there, and it escaped my mind. So I'm going to bring both of these out because I feel like I can finish both of those up within the next 2 weeks. And if I finish them early, I will just reach in and use one of the other 3. Which brings us to concealer. And I have done quite the extensive concealer declutter, and these are the cream of the crop in my opinion. These check all of the boxes that I'm looking for. I want hydration, I want coverage, and I want durability. All of these deliver. So you'd think it'd be as simple as just reach in and grab one, but a girl likes to have options. So one that I do keep coming back to very frequently is this one here from Dior. This is the Backstage Concealer, which I have in the shade 2N. Honestly, this is the only concealer that uses a brush applicator that I actually trust the brush applicator. It has never splayed or lost a single bristle. I'm going to pull this one out because I have really been giving that one a lot of attention lately. But like I said, I like to have options, so I'm also going to bring out this one here from Maybelline. It's the Superstay Active Wear. While it does have very good coverage, it is very, very lightweight, and this is one that I really like when I'm just doing what I call sort of like grocery store makeup, where I just want to look like I've had some amount of sleep, but I'm really not concerned about perfecting my face. That's where this one comes in for me. Before we move on to foundations, let's round out the drawer that I'm working from here. There is a container in there with mascaras, but at this point, for the last, I'd say at least 8 months, I've only been using one mascara at a time and not rotating through them, just so that I have some semblance of how long it's been open and things aren't just drying out waiting for their turn to come again. So this is the one that I will be continuing to use, my beloved Bite Upswing Mascara. And then in this container here, we have my collection of brow products and then eyelid primers. Why I have so many eye primers is kind of beyond me, if I'm being honest. These 2 were PR. This was sent to me in PR. This was a purchase with, like a gift with purchase. So I guess half of it's explained why I felt the need to go out and buy more. That is the true mystery. And also, which adds to the mysteriousness of it all, is the fact that I don't even really use them. Like, not on a day-to-day basis. I know some people would like freak out if I tell you that I use my concealer, but I do, and it works for me. So it might not work for everybody, but it works for me and it just saves me a step. However, I do use primers if I'm doing a more bold eye look, something for like filming purposes. I will typically reach for this. So I'll just grab one, I guess. We'll grab the one that's on top. That's the Fenty Beauty one. But if I'm doing something super colorful and want like a very stark white base, it's not like I'm not allowed to reach into the drawer. I know on a day-to-day basis, it's not going to get any use. And then for brow products, I have a clear gel. I've got the NYX Brow Glue and then the Benefit Gimme Brow. This is the newest in my collection, so I want to get some use out of it. I'm going to select this one. And then I brought my foundations out, but this is the one that I will be giving the most attention to. This is from Laura Mercier. It just got delivered to me yesterday and I haven't applied it yet, so I am very curious to see how it works out. It claims to be very weightless. In fact, that's in the name. This is the Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Foundation in Macadamia. By the way, Shoppers Drug Mart, your website fucking sucks. They just have the shade names with like no information on whether it's warm, cool, descriptor, nothing. I had to guess what kind of nut I am. Turns out I'm a macadamia. But anyways, I digress. So this one is definitely coming out, but there's a chance I might dislike it. There's a chance I might decide, hey, I just want to try something different today. Again, a girl likes options. So, let's go the skin tint option because the Laura Mercier is medium coverage. Let's bring in a light coverage option. And for that, you know what, I'm gonna go with this one here from Urban Decay, the Hydromaniac in shade 30. You know what the hell, we'll throw a powder one in as well. That's the one from Fenty Beauty, and that is in the shade 210. Okay, then let's select two powders. I have a mix of setting powders and finishing powders in here. For setting powder, I'm gonna go with this one here from Laura Mercier. We've got the Laura Mercier foundation. It seems appropriate to use a Laura Mercier powder. This one is the translucent setting powder. And then for a finishing powder, I've been going hard on the Chantecaille for several months now, and we're getting so close to hitting pan, but I'm going to give it a rest because I've had these from Guerlain for well over a year, and I've only used them probably a handful of times. These are the Meteorites, and these ones are in the gold pearl variety. So bring those out. Now it's time to move into cheek products, and we're going to start with bronzers. So I'm just going to move this guy out of the way. We'll start with bronzers. If you've been following for a while, you know I've been trying to finish this one here from Chanel, and I am getting very, very close to doing so. So while I am honestly getting bored of using this product, there's so little, well, you know, I say it's so little, but that's still going to take me like months to finish. You know, I was just about to say I'm going to continue using this one, but I did say I'm bored of it. So, you know what? I've got a better idea. So I'm going to leave all of these in here. These are more contour powders, and I don't contour very often. Love this from Westman Atelier, by the way. This is in the shade Biscuit, and it is like a perfect contour shade. Nice and cool toned without being too gray. Love this product. But like I said, I don't contour very often, and if I want to for filming makeup for YouTube, I can just reach into the drawer, but I don't need it tying up space in my day-to-day basket when I know I'm not going to use it on a day-to-day basis. So this one's going away. So instead of using the Chanel bronzer, I'm going to use a cheek palette instead, and it's still going to allow me to work towards finishing something because, wait for it, oh, look at all that pan. Not only in the highlighter, but also in the bronzer. I'm making very good headway on this one, surprisingly good headway, and I feel like I'm getting pretty close to hitting pan on this blush as well. So I'm going to include this cheek palette into the makeup bin. Now, blush and highlighter are a whole different beast. I have so many options, particularly when it comes to blushes, that it gets a little overwhelming. So it's hard to predict what I'm going to be in the mood for. So I'm just going to try to like create a range of options that kind of cover as many bases as possible. So for liquid highlighter, I'm going to bring this one out from Annabelle. It was a subject of a project pan at some point, and there's really not that much product left, but I only use so very little of it that it still lasts forever. But it is a very beautiful product, and unfortunately I don't think they make it anymore. I can't find it at all on any of the Annabelle displays I come across. Just kind of sad, but I've got this, I may as well use it up, and I think that I could get some very good headway in here if I keep this in the bin for 2 weeks. And then blush. There's so many. So let's see, I'd like something that has like an orangey, peachy kind of tone to it. This one here from Shiseido hits the mark. I love this blush, love it so much, and it just adds that nice like burnt apricot kind of look to my cheeks, which is really flattering. So I'm gonna hold that one out, some sort of grammar that works. And then I'd like something a little bit more everyday appropriate, if you will, just sort of your generic dusty rose. And while I use the term generic, there really is nothing boring about that. And I'm going to use this one here from Makeup by Mario in Barely Blushing. As you can see, I've already given it a ton of love, and I haven't used it in a while, and I miss it, so I'm going to bring that one out. And I think that's it for cream blushes. I'm going to go ahead and bring out my powders, and we'll see where that leads us. So here we are. We've got powder highlighters and powder blushes. And again, it's a little overwhelming. There's a lot to choose from. So these ones are all sort of multi-chrome or duochrome, as the case may be, and I don't use them very frequently at all. So these are going to stay in the drawer because I won't reach for them on a daily basis. Likewise, this one over here. This little guy, okay, I have tried to declutter this so many times. This year I finally made the decision to pull the trigger, and I was going to declutter it. And then somehow I found it on the floor of my makeup room. So it had escaped going to my friend who I gave all of my other decluttered items to. Yeah, I think it's telling me something. This is a gift that Barry gave me a couple years ago for Christmas. It is a bit on the glittery side, but I'm going to force the issue. I'm going to put this in the makeup basket, finally use some like dedicated use of it, and decide once and for all, do I like it, or do I just like the fact that my husband gave it to me and it has a star imprint on it? Because it's entirely possible it's the latter. So I'm going to bring that one out. And then for blushes, I want to bring this one out for a bit. This is from Hourglass. This is in the shade At Night. And I only ever really use it this time of year because it is like a deeper color on me and not something that I would reach for in the middle of summer. So why not bring it out now that we are coming around the middle of January? And then simply because 4 isn't enough, I'm going to bring out another one. This is from Bare Minerals. This is the bronzer in Kiss of Pink. And this again is just super easy, throw it on and don't even have to think about it kind of makeup. It is beautiful, a little bit of a sheen, but nothing glittery, nothing shiny. It just like makes your skin look healthy. It's just a really easy product to use, and it's very flattering. So I want to give that one some attention as well. Now, because I love you, I'm going to spare you the process of watching me select these palettes because that was altogether way too complicated for what it was. So we're just going to go through the ones that I ultimately decided on. Again, bearing in mind, if I decide on a random Tuesday that I want to use a different palette, I'm going to use a different palette. But these are the ones that they're going to be the first line of defense. So first up is this one from Makeup by Mario. This is one of the Everyday Quads in Nude 2. I have talked about this one before. This is just such an easy palette. This like super sheer gold sparkle is just so beautiful. Sometimes I'll like literally just use that, a little bit of bronzer in the crease, and then mascara. I don't even bother with eyeliner. And it just adds just enough sparkle to make it interesting without being like full-on glitter on the eyes. Just a beautiful, beautiful shadow. And so this one does get a lot of use anyways, which makes it a logical choice. And then if you watched my eyeshadow palette collection / declutter, these two I found in my collection and I have no memory of receiving them. I received them in PR and then I completely forgot about them. And what's more, these are the two Oden's eye palettes that visually are the most beautiful to me. So I'm kind of regretting the fact that they've just been sitting stagnant for as long as they have because I'm a dumbass and forgot I had them. So I have been giving them some love. These are beautiful. Oden's eye, not consistent in their shadow quality. They just aren't, it is what it is. These ones are like their top performers. These are beautiful. So I am excited to continue playing with those and to maybe push the creative boundaries a little bit with these, maybe for some YouTube videos because they're beautiful. And then this one here I bought during the summer. It was on sale at some point, so I grabbed this one, the Metropolis palette from Natasha Denona. But I bought it at like the height of my emotional difficulties and have only used it a handful of times. I am now in therapy. Yay me, I've got 2 sessions under my belt. I don't know what I'm doing, but I like my therapist and I feel very validated, so yay. Anyways, creativity coming back. Love for things that I used to love coming back. Color, smattering of it. This is workable color for like everyday office wear for me, but I haven't played with it, so I want to. Hence, here it is. Now, although the creative spark is back, I do still love my neutrals, and so I've also included the side-by-side from Nabla. I used this one day this week, and I had forgotten how much I enjoy this palette, so I am jazzed to keep using it, ergo, it goes in the bin for this week. Now, if picking out blushes and eyeshadow palettes is challenging, picking out lip products is even more so because it depends on what mood I'm in, it depends on what I have going on the calendar, it depends on what my eyeshadow turns out to be because it's not always how I planned it. So I've picked out a handful here, but again, I'm not bound and constrained to only these. These are just to be the first line of options, and then if nothing in here suits, then I'll look to the rest. So I've tried to, again, just sort of create a bit of a range here. So I do have a lip oil. This one is from Sigma. This one is in the shade All Heart, and as you can see, it's just like a mauvey pink. We'll do swatches as we go. So there is one option. And then I brought out a nude lipstick. This one is from Cheekbone Beauty, and this is in the shade Nuna. And there's that one. And then this one here is from Lisa Eldridge. This is in the shade Velvet Morning, and it's this really beautiful orangey red. Sometimes that just paired with some really like that sparkly gold from here, the really simplistic eye look, it's just a whole vision in and of itself. And then I wanted a vampy option as well, so I brought this one from Kaleidos. This is in the shade Smeared Rouge, and one of the things I love about this cloud lip paint formula is that it lasts for ever. So even if I have like client meetings on my agenda, I know that I can trust that this isn't going to look all like jacked up on my face. My children have just got home from school. You might hear them in the background. We're just about done here though. And then this one arrived in the same package as the Laura Mercier foundation. I traded in some Shoppers Drug Mart points and managed to get like $140 worth of stuff for, I think I paid $18 for it. Love their points program. Anyways, I treated myself to this Dior lipstick. For the life of me, I don't know what in the actual hell the name of the lipstick is. It's their like transfer-proof bullet lipstick. Just on the bottom it says Rouge Dior Forever, which I feel like everything from them says that. Anyways, it's in the shade Forever Confident, and it's just a slightly deeper nude, and it really is transfer proof. I tested it out last night and it was pretty impressive. So I feel like I have a pretty good range there. maybe something a little bit more cooler tone to throw in the mix, but I think I could make this work. These are the kind of shades that I tend to gravitate towards in any event, so these will be a very good starting point. So there we have it. This is going to be my day-to-day wear makeup for the next, I guess, 2 weeks. This is all brand new to me in terms of like actively selecting these baskets and really making a go of this kind of system. So I've yet to determine whether it's going to be a weekly thing, bi-weekly, monthly. We're just going to see what feels right, but right now I'm thinking it's going to be 2 weeks. So time will tell, but I think this is just going to cut down on a lot of decision fatigue in the morning and still, again, help me accomplish that goal of just getting use out of my collection. So thank you so much for coming along on the journey with me. I should have mentioned things like eyeliners. I'm not going to select them in advance. They just sit off to the side of me. I use the exact same pencil one all the time, and then I use the exact same liquid liner as well. Yeah, you know what? I guess I could just shove them in there. There we go. Eyeliners are selected. Clinique and Makeup Geek. Okay, so there we are. Again, thank you for coming along with me on this. I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being.